Is the station, and people, for some reason, I feel good today. For some strange reason, it feels like the fog has been lifted. Somebody figure out what's going on. Steve Robbins, Tennessee Bright Hall's in the booth. It feels good today, man. Listen, I got a little bit of an echo. I don't know what that is, but that's okay. All right, there it is, Brian. Yeah, I know. I always say that because I know Brian Hall knows. I don't know what button that is, but Brian Hall has a special echo button when I hear that, so I just throw it out there, and then Brian takes care of it like a Superman producer he is. And you're right, man. Look, it feels good today. There's something in the air a little bit there, so we're going to get a little bit of all of it. For local stories, KHSAA has decided to restart basketball in a vote. So that's a little bit of consumer confidence. Steve's replacement will be joining us the second hour.
It's exciting to see you, Steve.
Keep on spending time in Tennessee, Steve. Replacement hour. Woohoo! I'm very nervous about this one. So make sure everybody is tuned in for that. Coach Satterfield, Tutu Atwell, Drew Rosenhaus pairing. We're gonna have to talk about that. Good job, Tutu. I'm okay with that. I want to do the Tutu versus Lamar Jackson, Drew Rosenhaus conversation. I want to make a little comparison there. What else we got? Congratulations, Coach Denny Crum, my coach. Congratulations yet again on the renaming of the new naming of the new facility with the Champions Way and all that good stuff. So all in all, we're gonna have a good time. Brian's floating on cloud nine. His Western Kentucky Hilltoppers got a big win. The big win. Yeah, man did his thing. So Brian's pumped.
Oh, yeah, 29 points, 14 rebounds. I was telling Marcus I could be a little biased, but I still believe that Charles Bassey will be the best big man that what Louisville will see this year.
I don't know that I disagree, man. I mean, there may be others that have a little more around them.
Somebody might have a better game, but
but I don't know that man for man will play a better big man than Bassey. I mean, North Carolina's got
the best shot blocker in the country.
Yes.
Yeah, probably, man.
He was quick off his feet, wasn't he?
I mean the way you remember. I mean, he's played some good bigs so far, and I mean the way he dominated CJ, and the way he dominated that West Virginia game, and I mean, really, truthfully, Louisville probably messed him up the worst, and he still had an incredible game. I mean, that was an off game for him. So. And let me be clear, like I said, after the Western game, I think guards messed up Western guards a little more so than Bassey. Bassey could have ate that game.
Then he gets 7 blocks.
Yeah, no, he was awesome. Yeah, but well, to be fair, though, he blocked Jalen 37 times. But you're right. Yeah, no, he probably is the best big man in the country, and he's good enough that if Western gets in at 12 or something like that, because I think Western's more of like a 11-12 team, like maybe even a team, depending on how they finish. He's good enough to win you a tournament. Like I mean, just straight up, like he wins the game for you. So yeah, I mean, he's an elite big man talent, and probably his best big man body. Saw in a like. I read Dan Dockich was drooling over him in that Sioux Falls thing. I was like, yeah, but I feel you though.
Wait. Chris Curry on the YouTube channel just sent a message. Is Gardner Webb one of the games that Coach K canceled? Is that right?
Yeah, I think that was.
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Did Coach K not want a piece of Gardner Webb? Just start looking at the film like, I think my boys are gonna have a problem with them.
They gave Western a pretty good run last night, but not enough.
Yeah. Coach K, right. I love it. Coach K is, he went full. Just you know what? What about Nate Oates calling him out though?
Listen, bravo!
Wow,
bravo to me. In my opinion,
wow, just full out. Just hey man, if your team was good, you wouldn't be saying this. So.
Like I said, and the two don't have to collide. You can be concerned, but you also can admit that if your team was dominating, you'd want every win humanly possible.
Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah.
I agree.
Also, what about a quick congratulations to Mark Ennis? I saw him on Packer and Jerome this morning.
Packer
How about that?
Shout out Mark Ennis.
Good job, Mark. Yeah, that was cool. That was very cool, man. He did a good job too. Yeah,
we actually Brian Hall is on standby. I let him know he needs to have that so we can play a clip or two. We got to show him some love on that.
Oh yeah. That's brethren, man.
Right. So Brian is waiting for that to pop up on the
ESPN podcast.
Speaking of ESPN, 25 years they're playing the old commercials, and I'm telling you, people, if I have a short pause in the middle of the show, I'm gonna need my co-host and Brian Hall. I'm gonna need y'all to take over because I love seeing all the old guys that made SportsCenter really what it was back in the day. So they're running all the old commercials
25 years ago. Sure. Anybody I know that played a Louisville around 25 years ago.
Weak.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. Man, why could it have been 23?
Give me about a 20-year window.
Oh no, I was going straight to freshman. You're going to like you think I was going to your senior year? Are you kidding me? I'm going to the further.
I'm gonna do best to skew the numbers.
Oh yeah,
get you right inside.
Yeah, no, absolutely. No, that is cool.
But yeah, like I said, all the commercials over the course of 25 years are really, really, really funny and good. It's just good to see, how far they've come. So Steve, that's 13 minutes into it.
Gosh, there's so much today.
There's 13 minutes of setting up the show.
Yeah.
But really, we got to have one conversation. I went this conversation on live stream last night. I got a good vibe for the look. I'm getting text messages about guys that were in that window. Samaki Walker, shout out to David at Score who says Samaki Walker. Yep. Bill Baker shooting out the valuable Bear Nose drama. Excited about that one.
That hurts my feelings.
But you got good options down there too.
Are we real quick before we dive into this? I know this is going to get. Are we good? Echo on my end.
This sounds great to me.
Okay, all right, we're good then.
Okay, so Steve, yesterday, I'm not sure about the time, maybe 5-ish. A letter to the alumni. I'm sorry, the season ticket holders.
Yeah.
Now, do you want to read it, Steve? Do you have it in front of you?
I can get it in front of me.
I may be able to get it as fast as you.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Okay, here it is.
Okay.
This letter was released. In life as in football, we're gonna take some. Here, let me. My eyes aren't the best, so let me make it a little bigger. Okay. Sorry about that. Dear Card Nation, in life as in football, we're gonna take some hits, and ultimately, we are better for it. Card Nation, I am sorry. I should have communicated my commitment to you and to our program with clarity and better conveyed my confidence that this is the place for me and for my family. I am proud, honored, and humbled to represent this university as your head football coach. That is why I am writing this message to you. The fans, we need you and can't do this without you. I own my mistakes and I am asking today for your forgiveness. My 24-year career has been filled with many wins and losses, and in both, I use them as teaching moments for our student athletes. One of these lessons is to own your mistakes. We all make them. Sometimes it's in our personal lives. Sometimes it is under the bright lights on the big stage for all to see. What defines a man is how he chooses to respond next. Will he listen? Will he learn? Will he own his mistakes without self-defense? Will he ask for grace? And will he become a better man tomorrow because of it? I absolutely will. Words are important, but actions speak louder. In the days, weeks, and months ahead, I will do what is necessary to earn back the trust and support of each and every one of you. Today, and each day forward. I am proud to give my all for the Ville. I want to thank Vince and Neely for their grace and guidance this week. I have offered them both my sincere apologies and restated my commitment to U of L. We are building a football program that all of you can be proud of, comprised of tremendous young men of character who will earn degrees and win championships. This place is special for so many reasons. You, Card Nation, are among the foremost of reasons. We need you now more than ever. Together, we can truly accomplish anything, and I can't wait to see where the future takes us. Again, I am deeply sorry. Thank you for your passion, your resilience, and your grace. Thank you for loving this program and compelling all of us to be better every day. Sincerely, Scott Satterfield.
Well, listen, I'll say this, man. That was pretty good. That was a pretty good letter. Okay, me as if I was just anarchist, I would say that's what you should have done in the first place. I think that statement right there would have been excellent as opposed to, like maybe even put that out right before, the press conference on Monday. And then say, and then just repeat that throughout the press conference. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, okay, I'm repeating. Because that does sound like it's thought out.
It's echoing, Brian. It's saying getting a good echo off of Steve. Maybe it's on here.
It's probably on. Oh, sorry, I just got off the. Is it still there? Ask him if it's still there. Because if it's not there now, then I know what this is.
Can you invite yourself again?
I can get back on there, okay. But if it's not there anymore, then it's coming off this where I can't.
Okay.
Get that completely quiet.
Anybody on the YouTube channel, just to check.
I'll give it.
It's no echo now, Steve. Okay,
that's what it is then. So I'll jump back on in a few minutes here. We'll get to this segment though. That way we can talk about this for a second though. Okay, so when I hear that though, I said, what I've been saying all week is he is the head coach here now. We said the one thing is everybody believes that everybody just wants well for this program. Everybody wants this program to win. So for me, I'm willing to now let me be very clear. Do I still think at this very moment he's probably going to leave if he gets a shot?
Okay,
I think I do.
Wait, define a shot.
I mean, anything.
You understand why I'm asking that? Like, define a shot, because again, he's not taking steps down. I mean, it is because here's the thing: he's not going to Kentucky. He's not going to South Carolina. I don't think he would move to. I mean, Mississippi looks like they're rolling. Like, we can start kind of narrowing down. Like,
I just mean it's not going to go away overnight. That I still don't think that. You aren't sold that this is a spot where you can be forever. You know what I'm saying? Like, I do believe that he will probably, if he gets offered anything that's remotely better or geographically, that he will probably leave. So I don't know that I'm off that. But what I am off of now is, okay, you've apologized. And then you've apologized for the apology because, and it's like, I'm just not one of those people that needs to see you beat in public. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, and I'll just use that because I don't want to use anything offensive there, but that's not me. I don't need to see that. I don't need that pound of flesh. For me, you're still the coach here, and I want to win. So if it's 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, okay, you've apologized. It does seem like one thing I do agree with, though, and please just cut me off at any point here if you want. But I'm interested to see if you agree with this, Marcus. The one thing, though, I do believe is that he did genuinely he is genuinely sorry, and I don't think he realized how to go through that process.
Yes.
And how big of a deal that process was. That's
listen,
the one thing I do believe.
No, listen, along with that, I feel like he underestimated kind of the emotional involvement, you know what I'm saying, into something like job conversations. Like I said, as a fan base here, you kind of wonder, like, how could you not know that? You know what I'm saying? But when he says 24-year career, like he hasn't made a lot of moves, so he only like his fan bases all know him. It's funny. Sometimes like I have to rely on the fact, like if even here in Louisville, if I make a misstep on air or say something kind of out of turn, there's a natural reliance on everybody watch me grow up here, you know what I'm saying, from 17, 18 year old, to an adult. So I get a little bit of a pass, like, okay, Marcus feels how he feels, but he doesn't have malice, going on. I just feel like we didn't know Coach. We don't have a long enough history with Coach Satterfield to understand there was no malice intended. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
And he, like I said, being in his Carolina environments, people, would probably easier give him the benefit of the doubt. His Carolina fan base might say, "Oh, that's totally an agent thing from the beginning." But again, if they're just reading the media, it's kind of like, right, that's not like him,
right,
that kind of thing. But he just hadn't built up enough equity just to get that pass of, come on, y'all know me, y'all, I would not do something shady behind my football team's back or my eight. And it's like, no, now that you're here, you have to restart that credit line with your fan base. So I think after the interview, after the press conference, and he saw the reaction, and it's like, okay, yeah, they don't really know me like that. So, you can take some time to think about it and say, man, you know what? If I didn't know me either, I would think that was a piece of crap move. So, and to me, it shows self-awareness and self-evaluation. I don't think he got cancel cultured into this one. Does that make sense?
I agree. No, I totally agree. Yes.
Like he did get bombarded, but it was kind of like okay, I can own this, like they just don't know me. It was misunderstood. So, but let me clean it up with my players first. Maybe the players' responses were a little more genuine than we felt like. Like we felt like it was a PR machine campaign,
Well, now let me clean that up too, because see, I don't think we said they're not genuine, but here's the thing. I do think they were told.
Mm-hmm. Or encouraged.
Encouraged, because at the end of the day, I mean, Drew Diener pointed it out too. I mean, it seemed like a lot of players. I mean, you only got about 12, 13 players that did that. So, I mean, there's an 80-man roster, I mean, so, I mean, I will say I do.
So it wasn't force fed.
Yeah. I mean, I do think it was encouraged that be done. Now, I don't think the players, and that's what we covered the other day when we said the players, and where I was talking about with what Bob said. I agree with Bob 100% on that. I haven't been able to say that a lot lately, but I do on this, because I thought it was when he said, hey, the players, they go, look, okay, are you the coach? All right, let's play. Like that. They're worried about that. I mean, look, Tutu Atwell was figuring out whether he was going to be able to play or not. And then on the side, okay, now I've got to sign with an agent. Now, we'll get to that conversation here in a little bit. But yeah, I mean, no, I think that Coach Satterfield legitimately is like, again, and that's why I'm saying I'm trying to toe the line.
No,
here
listen, Texter comes in with a great additional text on this subject. At App, he could entertain Power 5 offers with no backlash because it was clear. It was a clear upgrade. There aren't a lot of clear upgrades at Louisville or for Louisville.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
And especially, and let's be honest, I mean, the fan base is going to say, I heard Fred Cowgill on Bob's show the other day, and Fred was talking about, and he was kind of selling me, because as someone who has kind of said, well, I understand too, in the hierarchy of football, you're going to get poached sometimes, But Fred was kind of selling me because Fred is obviously a Tennessee grad. He enjoys SEC football. I mean, he's not been shy about that. I mean, heck, I enjoy SEC football, so whatever. I mean, but he said he's talked to people because he's like, listen, there's nothing really you should be able to do other places that you can't do with Louisville. And the way he was breaking it down, I was like, dang, Fred. Like, yeah, I think you're right. Like, man, maybe I need to start giving my football program a little more credit. Like,
no,
like
I heard him say he actually looked Charlie Strong straight into the face and said, dude, you're not going to be welcome at Texas. That's not a good job for you.
Yeah.
While we as a fan base were a little more like App State fans would be when Charlie said, y'all know I got to take this, right?
I wasn't mad at Charlie at all. Yeah,
right,
I was like, dude, he's got to go. Y'all are crazy.
Listen.
Like,
the worst thing that hurt people's feelings were the Hook'em Horns picture.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, just because it almost felt like he was doing that to us. When we saw the picture, it was like he's just rubbing our nose, and it's like people. He took a picture in his new garb, you know what I'm saying, in his new, school gear. But we felt like you're making fun of us, aren't you? But that was a little bit of insecurity. I'll tell you what, let me get to this phone line real quick. 8150-939 is the number. 3831-939 is the text line. Joel, thanks for joining us on 93.9. Fire away.
What's up, Marcus and Steve? Happy Friday. Yeah, I mean, to me, Steve, you kind of hit on it, in my opinion, as far as like, does that letter really tell me, the guys, he's not going to leave? No. I mean, at the end of the day, I think that, the bottom line for him, the pressure is on even more so than it would have been. And that's what he did, honestly, with that press conference, because it's both ways as far as wins and losses. I mean, if this guy comes out next year and he drops, Louisville drops another, let's say, 4 or 5 win season, fans are going to be all up in arms anyway because of what happened this year, being like, yeah, we just need to go ahead and part ways anyway. Now, if he goes out and wins, 7, 8 games, they go to a bowl game and things like that, and then all of a sudden next year, let's say, NC State has a bad year or Duke or one of those programs over there ends up getting rid of their coach, we're all going to think he's leaving. I think the only way it's ever going to come to, for us to feel better is if that situation occurs and he doesn't take a job there at one of those programs. That's it. I mean, until that actually happens, I think all the fan base is just going to be timid and really expecting that guy to be there. And the one thing I was going to say, guys, I didn't get the call the last couple of days, but to me, the biggest thing for that press conference and why fans, to me, got so upset is just because of obviously the history. And we honestly thought when Satterfield signed over there that was going to be our Dabo. That was going to be our guy. This is a small town guy. He's coming to Louisville. And we just had that feeling. So whenever Louisville fans had that or got to listen to that conference on Monday or Tuesday, it just really solidified like, well, dang, we can't ever find our guy. So that's why I think people got so upset about it. But to me, I'll tell Satterfield this. Look at all these coaches, John L., Charlie Strong, Bobby Petrino, who left, and what happened after they left.
Yeah, but listen, Joe, I appreciate the call. Every coach thinks that they'll be the exception to the rule 100% on that one. But I do want to, you did bring up a point, Joe, that I do want to address the kind of with the fan base mentality. I'll do that right after our next call. Jason, thanks for joining us on 93.9. Fire away.
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call.
Absolutely.
So I got that email along with everybody else yesterday, and I keep going back to 2002 when John L. left. If you look from 2002 to 20, we're talking 18 years.
Yep.
We've had 6 coaching tenures. Bobby did 2, but it's been a total of 6 different coaches. I feel like that email to me was as empty as Mark Stoops' head. I'm not buying into it. And I know they're not getting rid of him. I feel like that's almost the move you got to do because he's going to leave. There's no question about it. I agree with the previous caller. Duke, North Carolina State. He's obviously homesick. He wants to go back home. So let's roll out the red carpet and let him go back home. Appreciate it, guys. Y'all have a good weekend.
Jason, I appreciate the call, but go ahead, Steve.
I was just going to say, I don't have a problem with people who feel that way either. I mean, to an extent.
Okay, let me draw a line of demarcation, Steve, because this is what I don't do, and this is kind of going to go into there's a phrase that I'm literally going to ban today on this show. There's a phrase that I'm going to hang up on you. I'm gonna block you from the YouTube channel. It's a phrase that if you keep doing this phrase, like, we're going to have this discussion. Now, if people don't know about it, look, I'm not going to do a hard block on this one, but it's going to, put it this way, it's going to rev me up. When you say a coach is going to leave, give me a number of years that you think in 2020, give me a number of years that you think a coach should be at one school. That's a good line of a coach came in here, did a good job, moved on to bigger and better things, whatever. Because here's the thing. Yes, you want a coach to be here for 20 years. Yes, that's a utopian football society is a 20-year head coach. The average duration of a coach is probably a whole lot less, somebody can type that in. What is the average duration of a head coach at a university? Now there's some lifers are going to skew the numbers, but I'd venture to say it's not over 5, right? Like an average number, 5 or 6, right?
I was going to say, when you said what's a number, I was going to say I thought 5. I thought 5 would be
right.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll do that number 5. Okay. He's in year 2. So saying, okay, well, we know he's going to do, 2 or 3 more years, or, a couple more years, and then he's going to leave. It's like, that's an average thing. So you holding that standard over his head, if you're holding the 10-year standard over his head, then you're asking for, like I said, what you're asking for doesn't happen. So you're putting an insane amount of pressure on the hire from Vince Tyree. You're putting an insane amount of pressure on the coach. You're saying, hey, but you do that in basketball. You say Coach Mack needs to be here 10, 15 years. You say we expect Coach Mack to be a Hall of Famer in 10 years, 10, 15 years.
You don't hire a guy at Louisville basketball without expecting they
10
will
years.
Be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
No, you don't leave.
Yeah, right.
No, I mean, I'm serious.
Unless you take the Knicks job or something.
Yeah, you're right. Now, if the Lakers call Coach Mack and he took it, we'd pack his bags.
Right.
Yeah, get on out of here, man. I get it.
So do you understand what I'm saying here? Like, the perfect society, the perfect world would be 15-year, lifer coach, long, Dabo Sweeney type Clemson numbers. That's the perfect scenario.
But let me read off a couple schools right now who have had coaches for longer than 10, or that have tenured coaches for 10 years or more right now. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Marshall, Notre Dame, Clemson, Duke, Navy, Old Dominion, Alabama, Air Force, Michigan State, Northwestern, Middle Tennessee, Oklahoma State, Ohio, Utah, TCU, and Iowa. I also don't feel bad. Not feel bad, but I also don't jump on someone for saying, I mean, Kentucky's kept Stoops around for 8 years. And part of that now, I will say, is Louisville's an attractive program. I get that. But this goes back to my Fred thing, man. And I'm not, and listen, this isn't me debating you, because I get 1,000% what you're saying.
You said it when you said you're not going to tell people how to fan on this one.
Yeah, because I do totally understand what you're saying too. And I tend to kind of agree with you more on this one, because I just
don't want an unreal standard being set. I want your hopes to be, this is a 10-year, 15-year job. I want that to be your, I just don't want to set a standard like, oh, well, he's a crappy guy if he's going to leave in 3 years.
No, I agree with that. I agree with that. I just think, I mean, when you look down the road and you say, okay, Stoops has been there for 8 years.
Eric Stein said he Googled it. 3.6 years is the average.
I was going to say 4. So, or I was going to say 5 with you. I thought it would be like 4.6, but yeah. Okay. I mean, that makes sense. Now some of that you have to understand is 3 years also kind of a line of demarcation for when you can fire a guy too. I mean, truthfully, like, I mean, really, I mean, I think it's like a common rule. You give a guy 3 years before you fire him. I mean, Tom lived by that rule.
Right.
That's why Tom waited 3. He gave Cragthorpe 3 years when he could have fired him after that second year with, you know, and the fans would have been like, heck yeah. You know, but I don't know,
but
man.
You also don't want to get that label of firing somebody before 3 years. Like, you
no,
know,
that was Jurich's thing. Like, nah, you go try to hire somebody after you can a guy after a year and a half. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, and they're like, well,
yeah, your bias are going to be ridiculous.
I just think it's also okay for Louisville fans to start expecting, like, okay, wait a minute now. What do you mean you're just bouncing after 2 years?
Right.
You know, or,
Right.
or 3 years, or why do I have to expect that? Well, I got this guy. I'm only going to get him for 5 years. You know, like, no, we should be good enough here. Like, we have enough and that's where I say I'm okay with, okay, I'm ready to move on. Like, okay, I'm moving on. You're my coach. I'm rooting for him. Let's get this class taken care of. Let's get ready for next year. You know, let's get ready. I hope we have a great year. But I'm not bought in that he's not, you know, like, okay, all right. I'm still sticking with my, like, okay, we're casual. You're gonna leave and I'm gonna use you while you're here. I mean, but I'm not going to continue to just rag on him. And this is Steve. I've made the conscious decision. I'm not going to bring this up every time we lose a game also.
Right. That's another thing. Like, that's another line in the sand I wanted to draw. Got to get to the phone lines. DJ, thanks for joining us on 93.9. What's on your mind?
What's up, guys? First of all, I want to say happy belated Thanksgiving, Halloween, and your Merry Christmas. I got the little package coming for you guys in the mail. I'm going to send that out today. And appreciate what you guys do, and I appreciate the show. And as far as these, you know, these coaches and stuff, I'm gonna just say this real quick. If they want to look at Louisville, look at Coach Mack and look at Coach Jeff Walker. Okay, they building their own history right here at Louisville. You ain't gotta go and to somewhere and try to follow somebody else's shadow or footsteps or whatever the case may be. You can build what you want right here. We have the facilities. We have the money, we have the support, we have the fans, we have everything all those other so-called blue chip schools have. Only thing you have to do is stick to your guns, stick to the program. Again, I remember when Louisville women's basketball team, their games used to be horrible. I mean, just look at the old basketball team before Jeff Walsh.
Be careful.
Baylor,
tread lightly with that
Tennessee,
one, man.
I'm just saying, all these schools used to truck Louisville women basketball. You got to admit that. And now we're the ones driving the truck. You know, get out the way. Beep, 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 beep. You know, I mean, Jeff Walsh, he's building his dynasty right there at Louisville basketball program. And when he decides to retire or leave or whatever the case may be, you best believe quality coaches will be waiting in line to take his spot because they want to build on what he has already has built. And the same thing for the baseball team. The football team, every coach that left, you know, where are they now? I mean, it's like one of those Lifetime videos. Where are they now? Well, you're assistant to an assistant to an assistant coach. Yep. And if that's what you want, you know, whatever. And again, I appreciate what you guys do. I ain't trying to take up the whole show, but way to go women's basketball, way to go to the men's. They're getting off to a great start. And I just sit back and listen to you guys and shut up because you guys are the best. Appreciate you.
Listen, DJ, I appreciate the call, but man, when I came in here, man, Jill Morton was tearing people up, man. Sarah Nord was tearing people up, man. Like they wasn't just getting trucked.
Well, I will say though, I think the difference is now you have 4 Sarah Nords. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, that was the problem with Louisville basketball back in the day. Was, man, they would have 1 or 2 big time women's players, and then it was like, okay, but then the next one, you know, where's
coming
the next
up now?
one?
You got somebody coming off the bench. Just
but I get it, man. Yeah, it's like, hang on now, don't act like they all were
and listen,
bums.
These are my ladies. These are my whoa. No, like I look, even if I'm wrong, I'm defending my era of women's basketball players. Like that goes without saying. Frank, thanks for joining us on 93.9. Fire away.
Man, fellas, hey, this is therapy for me. I'm telling you. So I just want to do a couple of takes on the letter. We could take it for face value, and the thing about it is that I believe there is some sort of sincerity, and I think people were really upset when Coach Satterfield was not so much because of what he did. It's just the press conference that went to the left, and then it's an old song says once bitten, twice shy. So, a lot of the fans that put so much faith in these coaches, but we have to face it as fans is that Louisville is not a destination school. And Marcus, I love the fact is that the average tenure for a football coach is 3.5 years. As you said, I always call it the 3 to 5 years because you give a coach an opportunity to get their recruits in. And if they don't succeed, then, the AD is showing them the door. So I'm going to say this and I'm going to be quiet and let you all listen. The reason why, and me personally, the reason why a lot of the fans put a lot of stock in Satterfield is because the best Satterfield put that tweet out, Dabo, we're coming for you. So, the family seemed to be all in, and then that got the fans to be all in. So, hey, thanks, guys. And I'll be quiet and listen. Thanks for having me on your show.
Appreciate that call. Sounds like you had somebody trying to call you.
yeah, somebody's like, hey, man, Frank, get back to work.
I tell you, you're right. I hope that wasn't the boss calling him on the other line. Like,
I know.
Listen, you think I'm not listening to Maven, Frank?
Frank, obviously, if you saw the ratings, everybody's listening to Stephen Marcus. So we know you're on the radio.
I tell you what, we'll take our first commercial break, Middays with Marcus Maven on 93.9 The Ville.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider and are only available if the provider determines a prescription is appropriate. Subscription required. See website for full details and important safety information.
Hey guys, good news. The outrageously expensive little blue pill is now generic, which means you can get the prescription medication to treat ED at affordable prices. And Hims makes it extra affordable. You pay just $30 for a month's supply. And right now, get your first online doctor's visit totally free when you go to forhims.com/real. That's right. Free, zero copay, no expensive appointments, no awkward face-to-face conversations to get your prescription. Hims connects you to doctors online who can evaluate you and, if appropriate, prescribe your ED medication. And a pharmacy sends it right to your door. Hims makes it affordable, private, and incredibly easy. Nobody likes dealing with ED. Now, thanks to Hims, nobody has to. And that's really good news. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, forhims.com/real. That's forhims.com/real for your free online visit. forhims.com/real.
I'm former Louisville basketball player Luke Hancock. When the NCAA tried to take away the Most Outstanding Player award from the 2013 tournament, I got it back thanks to Morgan & Morgan. Morgan & Morgan is the personal injury firm that fights for the people, and their team treats clients like family. Morgan & Morgan changed my life, and if you've been injured in a car crash, at work, or in a slip and fall, they may be able to change yours. For a free consultation, dial #LAW on your cell phone. That's #529. Offices Louisville.
Louisville football takes on Wake Forest Saturday, and ESPN Louisville is your pre- and post-game headquarters.
Cunningham on the run, and he is in. Touchdown!
Join Pat Jaggers and Taylor Lynch at 10 o'clock for the Coors Light pregame show on all ESPN Louisville stations. And then directly following the game, it's the Coors Light postgame show with Mark Ennis. We're the first place in town that will take your calls and hear live from Scott Satterfield. If it's Cards football, we talk about it here on ESPN Louisville.
Many people have figured out over the last few months what a great thing it is to have a home gym. And many of our listeners have figured out what most of our staff already knew around here, and that's that Fitness Market is the place to turn to when you're starting or adding to your home gym. Right now, Fitness Market is loaded up on strength equipment, dumbbells, kettlebells, squat racks, power racks. Fitness Market has tripled the amount of inventory they normally have, and you can see it all in their newly expanded showroom on the corner of Plantside Drive and Waterson Trail. They have all the great brands like Hoist, Spirit, Body Solid, you name it. The highest quality equipment is at Fitness Market. I love the Precore treadmill I've had for a couple of years from there, and the adjustable dumbbells have proven to be invaluable over the last few months. So head on over to Fitness Market now. They have two locations, Westport Road inside the Snyder and Plantside Drive and Waterson Trail, where they have their newly expanded showroom. Or check them out online at thefitnessmarket.com.
Have you been in a car wreck? Insurance companies can be really tough to deal with on your own. I'm Sam Aguiar, and our team is here to help. We have been fortunate enough to represent thousands of people from Kentucky communities, and we would love to speak with you about your potential case. Our team loves what we do. The consultation for you is free, and we don't charge you anything unless we win the case for you. So come be a part of our team. Our phone number is easy, 502-888-8888. 502-888-8888.
Visit Shane Company for gifts of fine jewelry in every price range, wrapped with a burgundy bow and ready to give. Now you have a friend in the jewelry business.
Bellarmine basketball is on the air Sunday.
Gives to Penn, coming from right to left. Dillon down the lane, scores, and a foul. What a move. He's a whirling dervish here at Freedom Hall.
Join Doug Orme and Mark Bug as the Knights hit the road to take on Morgan State. Knights pregame coverage begins at 12:45. Right here on 93.9 The Ville and the ESPN Louisville app. If it's Bellarmine basketball, it plays on ESPN Louisville.
Mark Ennis here, telling you about my friends at Bosch Lawn Care. For the past few years, I've trusted Bosch Lawn Care with my yard maintenance at my house. That's mowing, weed eating, trimming bushes, cleaning mulch installation, and much more. Get yourself out of hours of work in the yard when you could be kicking back and enjoying time with your family and friends. Call 833-2GET-CUT. That's 833-243-8288, or visit them online at BoschLawnCare.com. Trust the lawn experts I trust. They're professional, affordable. Bosch Lawn Care.
Hey, Card Nation, let's be honest. The real estate market in Kentucky is booming. And whether you want to buy or sell a home, now is the perfect time to do it. With interest rates at an all-time low and programs that can get you in a home for no money down. Want to learn more? It's simple. Just call Derek A. Stewart with Dream JP Pirtle. Derek is available virtually around the clock to listen, understand, and help you with all your realtor needs. So don't waste another second. Call Derek A. Stewart at 502-314-9868 today.
This is Drew Diener, and you're listening to 93.9 The Ville, live from the OPC Services Studio.
Man, I'm doing all right, man. I was going to go to something that Marcus said a little bit earlier about how long the expectation should be for a coach to stay. I think, honestly, it should be between about 6 to 8 years. And the reason I say that is because, what's that, almost 2 full classes, freshman to senior. I think when the next coach comes in, if he wants to bounce, at least there's some continuity when the coach that comes in has got a little more experience on the team. But I mean, that's just me. But I definitely think it should be right around 6 to 8 years on average. Of course, if he's just mucking it up and he's not doing anything, go ahead and let him go after 3. But that's my take on it, guys, and I'll let y'all go. You have a good show.
Dana, I appreciate the call. That means you had a good coach. That means you get 8 years out of most programs. It means you had a good coach.
That's fair. Like, and also they're not coming after your coach. So, but no,
nobody's coming after your coach.
I know. I mean,
don't be nice, Steve.
I know, whatever.
Be nice.
But no, I don't know, man. I just think that at this point, I do think there are going to be people upset. I don't think you've won a lot of people over on the you're not still going to leave, but I do think you've won a lot of people over on the okay, I don't need to see you tortured. Like,
Right.
okay, all right, you're apologizing here. Like, you've got a family here, you know, and you're. And the on the field is okay.
Yeah, and when you're not twisting around his words, like we do understand you're considering your family, you know what I'm saying, in your professional decisions too. Like I can, I got how how it could be misinterpreted when you're mad, or and interpreted fine when you're understanding. So I did understand that part too.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I just think that it's one of those deals where I'm ready to move on. I am officially like, okay, all right. I still don't buy into the, I don't think that we're going to be in a long-term relationship. Now, I agree with the caller earlier, and I can't remember who it was. Now, hey, if 2 years from now he's asked by a big job and maybe 2 years things are different, and maybe a school comes calling, maybe Carolina comes calling, maybe Tennessee comes calling, maybe a school like that comes calling, and he says, no, listen, I've built something here. I'm building, man, and I'm here. I think that would officially, okay, we're all back, now we're back in a relationship, but
so
again,
he has to turn somebody down for us to be back in full relationship.
I think so. I mean, and I hate to do that because now when I say full relationship, I don't mean support, because I think you're gaining support back now. I think people, the hardest core like myself, hey, I was really aggravated about how it went down. You apologize. I thought the apology was terrible. That was absolutely terrible. But then when you say, okay, I can step back and say, hey, I handled this way wrong, man. I handled the apology wrong.
Self-awareness, man.
Yeah.
That's all you want is somebody to be self-aware.
That letter felt self-aware.
Right.
It felt self-aware. And I said, okay, I don't believe you're going to stay here yet. So as far as that goes, but I am like, okay, all right, I'm in. Like, let's go get this done. Let's win together. Let's try to build something together. And then, but like I said, man, hey, if it does come up and he says, no, I'm here, man. I love Louisville. Like, okay, I mean, look, we're in. Hey, Marcus, I do got a question for you. A very, very important question.
I'm listening.
Is he Debo or
I'm Aaron Lanning. On behalf of my family and our Louisville-based paint manufacturing company, Lanning Paints, I hope that you're taking care of yourself and maintaining social distance during this unprecedented time. There has never been a better opportunity to tackle your home improvement projects. Lanning Paints is offering curbside pickup or delivery in Metro Louisville. Find the perfect color online and we'll match it for you. Call on your order at our Middletown store at 245-0630 or our Dixie Highway location at 618-2138, where we also offer Benjamin Moore's full line of products. Our personnel is standing by and can answer all of your questions you have and will guide you through everything you need, so you only need to make one stop. When the interior paint dries, take advantage of our excellent driveway sealer, deck and fence stains, our exterior paint, and enjoy the great outdoors. We also offer our own epoxy for basements and garage floors. Consider us your quarantine boredom relief headquarters. Stay well, Kentucky. Check us out at www.lanningpaint.com or follow us on Facebook and Instagram.
Now that sports have officially kicked off, there's only 4 things missing from your playbook. 4 pegs. Looking for great smoked wings? 4 pegs. Looking for juicy barbecue and award-winning chili? 4 pegs. If you're just looking for some cold craft, tap, can, or bottled beer, 4 pegs. And the best part about 4 pegs is it's right around the corner at 1053 Goss Avenue in Germantown. So you better get over there fast because the word is spreading. And while you're over there, be sure to ask about their food truck and other catering services.
Hey Cards fans, Zach here from Great Flood Brewing with a friendly reminder that we have a number of carryout options for you this season. Growlers for beer, bottled cocktails to go, and delicious food, as well as a heated patio, are all on offer at our Middletown restaurant. Growlers, cans, and a patio with heaters are available at our Highlands location. Please stop by. We'd love to say hello and can't wait to see you all soon. Call 502-208-0882 to reach your preferred location or follow us at Great Flood Beer, Great Flood Middletown on social media for updates. Thanks again.
After all we've been through this year, Genesis Diamonds wants to help you end 2020 on a truly magical note with an unforgettable holiday gift and our best offer ever. 5 years, 0 interest financing with 0 down. And everything's included. Gold bangles, diamond bracelets, sapphire earrings, antique or rose gold bands, plus an exclusive selection of designer jewelry other jewelers can only dream of offering. Imagine getting the solitaire engagement ring of her dreams for just $100 a month. A dainty emerald and diamond tennis bracelet or incredible eternity band for only $50 a month. Even a pair of delicate diamond studs for just $30 a month and with no money down. Whether your budget is $300 or $300,000, Genesis Diamonds has the perfect gifts. Antique wedding bands, one-of-a-kind designer rings, trendy gold bangles, diamond pendants, and delicate layering necklaces, diamond hoops, even Swiss timepieces. All available right now for the holidays with nothing down and 0 interest financing for 5 whole years. Genesis Diamonds, Shelbyville Road Plaza. Open this Sunday on approved credit.
An official broadcast partner of the University of Louisville, WLCL Sellersburg is 93.9 The Ville. Time now for an ESPN Louisville Sports Center update.
Good morning, I'm Brian Hull. The Sports Center update brought to you by Woodview Golf Course and Driving Range. Now open. Book your tee time at woodviewgc.com. The University of Louisville football team is set to close out their season tomorrow against Wake Forest at noon, but it was announced earlier this week that they will be without star wide receiver Tutu Atwell. So wide receivers coach Gunnar Brewer was on with our very own Drew Diener yesterday, and he talked about how the Cards will deal with that loss.
The injury is just so devastating because he couldn't finish the way we wanted him to and he wanted to, and that's disheartening, but that's part of the game, and he fought through it and stayed with it and played when probably some recommendations were not to play. It was his choice, and then it got to a point where he just couldn't do it.
Once again, the Cards and the Demon Deacons are set to kick off at noon, but be sure to catch all our Coors Light pregame coverage leading you all the way up to game time and immediately following the game for the postgame show. You can also catch it on the ACC network for TV. The number 25 ranked Louisville men's basketball team is back to practice after taking at least a week off due to a COVID-19 issue as they continue to prepare for their matchup next Wednesday against North Carolina State, where they will host at the KFC Yum Center at 7 p.m. on ESPN. The number 2 ranked Louisville women's basketball team will be back in action this Sunday, though, when they take on North Carolina at the KFC Yum Center as well. That game is set to tip off at 4 o'clock. The Western Kentucky Hilltoppers were in action last night as they pulled off an 86-84 win over Gardner-Webb to improve to 4-2 on the year. They were led by Charles Bassey with 29 points and 14 rebounds. The Western Kentucky Hilltoppers will be back in action on Sunday as well, taking on Rhode Island at noon on the CBS Sports Network. It was also announced yesterday that the KHSAA has approved a return for high school basketball, and teams can begin practice on Monday. And last but certainly not least, just a reminder that ESPN Louisville is your exclusive home for the NFL this season, as we carried last night's Thursday night football action between the Los Angeles Rams and the New England Patriots. And the Rams pulled off a 24-3 win and will continue to have coverage throughout the weekend, as 680 is the affiliate of the Indianapolis Colts and 93.9 is the affiliate of the Baltimore Ravens. We'll have both those games for you on Sunday. Keep it locked here. Middays with Marcus Maben is next. This is SportsCenter.
Now that turning on the heat in your home is a common event, if you're not sure your heating system is ready for the winter months ahead, it may be time to call who we call at the station DFH Company. Heating and cooling has been their family business since 1935. This month from DFH, you can get 18 months special financing on qualified Train comfort systems from the DFH Company. It's hard to start up a train, and it's hard to not call DFH Company today at 968-6222 or look them up online at dfhcompany.com. Visit dfhcompany.com for complete program eligibility, dates, details, and restrictions. Subject to credit approval. We are proud to partner with our favorite go-to caffeinated beverage, Focus. Not Focus with an F, but with a PH.
When the reality of COVID-19 hit, our friends at Focus donated over 200,000 cans of Focus to nearly 400 hospitals across the U.S. to keep those on the front lines fueled.
And good news, now you can find Focus at more Kroger's, Thornton's, Liquor Barn, and Party Mart, as well as all the usual spots like Rainbow Blossom, Heine Brothers, Paul's Fruit Market, and CVS.
Or save 15% when you use code ESPN15 at www.drinkfocus.com. Focus, Phocus. Try it today.
When you can't get to Double Dogs, bring Double Dogs to you. All you need to do is fetch and go. With choices like Black Angus burgers, wings tossed in homemade sauces, and dog bowl nachos. Double Dogs will make sure everyone in your family can enjoy their favorites. Now offering family-style dinner deals for a limited time. See our menu at www.doubledogs.biz and then give us a call to order. Come pick your order up curbside today at the Middletown Commons location. Take the night off and let Double Dogs do the cooking with Fetch and Go.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider and are only available if the provider determines a prescription is appropriate. Subscription required. See website for full details and important safety information.
Hey guys, good news. The outrageously expensive little blue pill is now generic, which means you can get the prescription medication to treat ED at affordable prices. And Hims makes it extra affordable. You pay just $30 for a month's supply. And right now, get your first online doctor's visit totally free when you go to forhims.com/real. That's right. Free, zero copay, no expensive appointments, no awkward face-to-face conversations to get your prescription. Hims connects you to doctors online who can evaluate you and, if appropriate, prescribe your ED medication. And a pharmacy sends it right to your door. Hims makes it affordable, private, and incredibly easy. Nobody likes dealing with ED. Now, thanks to Hims, nobody has to. And that's really good news. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, forhims.com/real. That's forhims.com/real for your free online visit. forhims.com/real.
Here's what you missed on The Drive with Mark Ennis.
We talk about misreading the room. If you didn't know and anticipate that interviewing with South Carolina right now would fire up the natives here, that's a you problem.
The Drive, weekdays 3 to 6 on 93.9 The Ville.
Louisville football takes on Wake Forest Saturday, and ESPN Louisville is your pre- and post-game headquarters.
Cunningham on the run, and he is in. Touchdown!
Join Pat Jaggers and Taylor Lynch at 10 o'clock for the Coors Light pregame show on all ESPN Louisville stations. And then directly following the game, it's the Coors Light postgame show with Mark Ennis. We're the first place in town that will take your calls and hear live from Scott Satterfield. If it's Cards football,
They just posted it. Let me look at it real quick.
This is Drew Diener, and you're listening to 93.9 The Ville, live from the OPC Services studio.
Say what now? Okay, so we'll play it after the break. Okay, because I got they just posted today's shows. Let me skim it and find where he was, and then I'll.
A dirty confession. My co-host, my new replacement co-host isn't here just yet. There is nobody happier than Steve Rummage right now. Listen, I give Steve a little bit of a hard time because I don't play jokes on people a lot. I don't really tease people a lot. Like that's not really my thing, other than, like I said, my Kentucky fans, that I do a little ribbing and stuff like that. But I don't really like pick at people's, I don't pick like that. I do pick at Steve about the co-host replacements. Like that's one thing I shouldn't do it, but it's funny because Steve loves this job as much as I do. And if it's like one of those things, like if somebody was like, yeah, Marcus, even if it was just the littlest of jokes, yeah, Marcus, I heard they taking your show tomorrow. Like I wouldn't believe it, but I wouldn't like people saying it. You know what I'm saying? It would just be enough to throw me, just like, hey man, stop saying that, okay? Like you're hurting my feelings. Stop saying that. Can we just stop doing that? Okay, so
guys take you literally a lot.
Right,
I'm just saying.
right. So the Steve's replacement co-host isn't here, and here's the thing. This is what I'm going through right now. This morning, I should have knew that because this morning, Brian, I did that thing that you hate when you do it. Brian, I had that moment where you're getting your stuff, everything's getting ready to go. You get your bag, you get your camera, you got all your stuff for the show. You actually make sure you got your headphones. I do my little 5-point check, right? Everything was perfect. Get in the car, turn it on. What do I see, Brian? Take one guess.
I'm gonna say you saw
somebody. If you can beat Brian to it, text me. What was the first thing I said after I turned on the car, or what was the first thing I saw when I turned on the car?
shoot handle?
That's funny. You go ahead and grab that. Does anybody know what throws your morning off the most when you start your car? The gas light.
Oh no! You go ahead and let our caller on real quick. I didn't even catch the name because that's what their guess was.
Oh, was it? Okay.
They were gonna guess. He goes, "You looked at his gas light."
Thanks for joining us on 93.9. Fire away.
My daughter's down in Clearwater playing softball. I said, "Man, is that a gas?" I've had that happen. I was like, "Oh, damn!
Yes,
I got somewhere to be." And I've had that.
So you knew exactly where I was going with that one.
As soon as you said it, I was like, "Oh, I know it wasn't pumpkin spice latte that you were missing. You were out of gas."
Yes, no, softball dad, Dustin. You were spot on. I appreciate that call. The gas light.
I know. I should have got that
and
one.
You knew what you were doing. And this is what I did. This is what I did, Brian. What a piece of what I am. Sometimes I can be to be a person that is just such a good person. Sometimes I can do some really piece of crap things.
Well, you know what's funny is the gaslight. You see it the night before, and then you debate. You're like, should I go to the gas station now, or am I just going to get it in the morning? And I tend to try to fall on the I'd rather get it done now.
I know, Brian.
And I'll be good. But I do every now and then, like, I'm too tired. I'm just going home. And then you get home and you wake up the next day and you forget about it. And then it's like the worst rude awakening of that morning. You're like, I gotta go to the gas station. It's 30 degrees outside.
I know, Brian. I know. And here's the thing. When I'm driving home, I have a really long road to think about this decision, right? And the Kroger is 1 mile past my turn. You know what I'm saying? 2 miles past my turn where I go get gas at, right? And I have a long road to decide, am I going to go that extra mile and a half up to Kroger and get my gas and turn it back around and drive 1.5 miles back? But here's the thing. I didn't do it, right? I didn't do it. So then I take my turn and I go to my home, right? I do my afternoon stuff. I do my afternoon prep. I usually clean up. I have
a feeling I know where this is going.
Listen, I clean up right when I get home from work, I clean up my crib. So, the second half of my day gets started off real good, just with a nice clean house. Right. So I'm chilling. I'm doing some work. I'm getting some work done. Everything's going good.
You need some food.
I need some food. So I shoot out to get some food. I went to a taco truck that is literally
2 miles down the road.
No, but it's right across the street from the gas station.
Oh, no.
And I went and got my big old burrito, Brian. I declined the extra sour cream. Bravo, Marcus.
Dude, those food trucks, some of them are so good.
Oh, Brian.
So they're burritos. I mean, I'm sure they're very similar. The burritos that I've gotten at some food trucks are great.
I probably should be talking about this on this day, but yeah, this is yesterday stuff. So we'll just count this as Thursdays.
Well, they usually make them fresh. That's why the food trucks are good, because they don't leave food just sitting out. So when you order, they make it right there for you.
Listen, they got the drive-through too.
Oh yeah.
So and they just tell you pull up right there. So
you got a drive-through at the food truck.
At the food truck.
Oh
spot.
man,
So
this is first class food truck.
I drove through and I placed my order, and they held out the little machine, and it was just great. And you know what I did? It was smelling so good sitting in my passenger seat. I almost took that burrito and put this passenger seat belt around it.
It's all right, baby. We'll be home soon.
I will be home soon. I was like, ain't no way I'm about to stop and get gas with this big burrito smelling like this. There's no way.
It'd be cold by the time you got home, man.
You know what I even did? Look, everybody wants to know where the
drive-through food truck is.
Yeah, they're hitting me up on the text line right now. Listen, before I even left the house, I made some guacamole, Brian.
Oh, homemade.
I made some homemade. Like I had some avocados.
So you didn't have to pay the extra fee for the guacamole at the burrito. You just put it on yourself.
No. I knew I had to use these avocados. Like
you got the organic kind.
And, yeah, right. And I didn't know when I was gonna make this again. So I'm like, I got some avocados. So I made the guacamole and look, squeeze my lime juice on it. Cilantro is all perfect, right?
Mm-hmm.
There was no way I was gonna stop and get gas.
I don't blame you at that point.
Right?
I would have done the same thing.
But I'm telling you, you got a guest host coming in today. So I was kind of like worried that I was gonna forget something or something.
Yeah,
so
you were in a hurry.
Yeah. So then I'm just like, then I saw that gas tank, bro. That gas light, and I'm like, I have to go get gas now. Like it's not even an option not to get gas.
So was it worth it? That's the real question.
It was so worth it. Do I need to?
I don't know. I just saw you looking, so I just was double checking. I think Process will let us know when he gets here.
Okay. Yeah. That's for sure. Yeah. So that was why I knew something was right. But which leads us up to the co-host not being here. Of course, I think I must have gave the wrong address. I must have gave the.
It's always your worst fear.
I know that I just screwed something up really bad, and just I want to give a quick backstory. The guest co-host, so everybody can stop panicking. The guest co-host, Steve Replacement, I donated to the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. I donated an hour to co-host. I'm not a rich man. They asked me if I could give something. I said yes. I mean, the co-host experience is worth it.
I imagine it goes for a pretty good price.
Listen, I didn't care and I didn't want to know because
doesn't matter. It goes to a good cause regardless.
Here's right.
Whatever he paid.
And here's the thing, whatever the bid was, I'm gonna feel bad either way.
Yeah.
Because if it was a huge bid, I'm gonna be like, how do I I'm gonna.
We gotta
feel
reschedule if it's a huge bid,
right,
for sure.
right,
Yeah, we'll get you in here, man.
No,
we'll get him in here regardless.
Yeah, we're gonna reschedule regardless. But if it's a huge bid, I'm gonna feel like we gotta make this experience like the best experience of your life.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's a bad bid, I'm like, is that what you think of me? Is that all I'm worth? So yeah. So either way, it wasn't going to be great. Okay, so we got that part out of the way.
We'll be sure to give him first class treatment when he comes in, whenever it is, whether it's today or another day.
Yeah, no, for sure. So here's the thing. This is what I kind of talked about it. I mentioned it earlier in the show, and Joel reminded me that this was an important point to hit today. Banning a phrase. Now, Brian, I'm going to need your absolute support on this one.
Gotcha.
You know how sometimes people just say, yeah, man, sometimes like wrong or right, man, I'm riding with you on this one, right?
Ride or die.
Yeah, I need your support on this
one. Need a ride or die. I got you.
Because I don't know how this one's going to go over. And when I made the threat of blocking and muting and deleting, it's real. Because here's the thing. I posted yesterday. I posted on Facebook. I want to go to it because I posted it, and this is really something I kind of believe in. The sayings that like energy is like money, like your time and energy is more valuable than money. Because I always felt like I can make money if I want to give the time and energy. But the real currency is energy, right? So here's the thing.
Your time is valuable because you only have so much of it.
You only have so much. Your energy is valuable because it's like where you choose to spend it at. Listen, I put this. Your diet is not only what you eat, it's what you watch, what you listen to, what you read, the people you hang around. Be mindful of the things you are putting into your body emotionally, physically, and spiritually.
I know you're a big proponent of that.
Yeah, seriously.
I know.
Seriously. So, in direct contrast to that way of life, way of thinking, there's a phrase that it just shakes my energy to its core. And it's said all the time. And I can't deal with it another day. Do you want to guess what the phrase is, Brian?
The phrase is
the phrase that just gets under my skin that people say, that I say, listen, with that kind of energy around me, you're going to bring me into loser. You're going to literally turn me into a loser with that phrase.
I don't know. I don't have a guess at that one.
And
it could be anything.
And listen,
I'm trying to think, do I say it on a regular basis?
A lot of people say it. No, not everybody says it, but it just, some
kind of response to how's it going?
I let people get away with this phrase way too much, right? But it's one of those fights, like, I don't want to fight it either, because it's like, I understand your feelings are your feelings, but here's the thing, Brian. This is why I'm going to need your support. The phrase is, of course they're going to hit everything against us.
Oh, okay. I was thinking completely something different.
Of course they suck, but they're going to hit everything against us. Brian, I've heard that.
That was the Kentucky fans in the Western Kentucky tweet yesterday.
Listen,
right?
I've heard that phrase in every walk of sports life. Every fan on every planet thinks that they are being targeted by the sports gods, and the team they're playing against is. And here's the problem: when you're just sitting and watching the game, and you go, "Yeah, of course he hits that on me," I get that one, right? But
it's mainly in rivalry games.
No, it's the predictive one. Okay, like when it happens in the game, I don't mind that phrase. Like you and Brian, you and me, you and I are sitting here watching the Kentucky game, and some chump comes off the bench, and I'm saying chump, like, be nice, Marcus. Some guy who's not a mainstream
some
player.
Reserve comes off the bench.
Right.
Not a starter.
I said chump because I'm talking like an emotional fan at the time. Some guy comes on who doesn't play.
Some freshman who's a little cocky. But he's not that good. He averages 2 points a game.
Somebody who I don't recognize comes into the game and hits a shot. Now, me and Brian and I sitting here drinking, we're going to look at each other and say, yeah, of course. Right. Mm-hmm. But here's the thing. A month ahead of the game, I'm talking to you and you're just like, well, it doesn't matter if they're good or not, because they're just going to be the best team in history I'm like, you are setting yourself up with that's the dirtiest.
You know what's a good example of that was when Jorts went off against Louisville. You're like, of course, Harrelson, the guy off the bench, is going to be the guy who goes off and beats Louisville almost single-handedly.
Right, but you understand.
But you're talking about the 2 months before that, being like, oh, of course they're going to hit threes against us,
Yes, like a texter, you understand. Can't speak that stuff into existence. Like, you are literally, I just think the city around me right now, listen, here's the thing. Those people have social media too. Your opponents have social media too. So guess what they're reading every day? They're reading everybody in Kentucky is going to have a career night for 2 months straight. If I am whoever, pick a player on the Kentucky's team right now. If I'm Isaiah Jackson, who's shooting like crap from the 3-point line, and every single day I get on Twitter, and when I look up Kentucky and Louisville talk, all I see is Louisville fans saying, Isaiah Jackson's going to hit every shot that he shoots. I'm coming into that game like you've
speak it into existence.
You've put me in an energy that I can't miss. Louisville fans have been gassing up the Kentucky players this entire month.
Let me
as good as our team is playing.
This is kind of like going along with what you're saying, a little bit off topic. Have you ever seen The Secret? The movie, the Secret?
No.
Okay, so The Secret is about like exactly what you're talking about. How thinking. So it's like
I may have read the book though.
It's supposed to be like some kind of thing that all the rich people know, and it's like basically thoughts come to reality.
Yeah.
So like think happy thoughts, because if you think if you wake up every day and you look at a sign that says I'm going to make $1 million, and you look at that and you think that in your head, I'm going to win $1 million,
because you're waiting for your opportunity now. I'm going to make this
at some
million.
point you're gonna bring your thoughts into reality. That's The Secret in short.
Right.
And it's the same concept of what you're talking about, sitting here saying that, of course they're going to knock down all these threes. Well, if you keep thinking that for 2 or 3 months, then they're probably going to come out and do it.
And they're
spoke
not
it into existence.
and they're not just thinking it. Kentucky fan that's listening to Louisville radio because he likes to get a little agitated listening to Marcus, but he's entertained by Marcus, but he's a Kentucky fan, so he cuts me off and cuts me back on. This fan is sitting here listening to the callers say every single day. So guess what? That fan is telling all his Kentucky fans that's leaking to the players like, hey, y'all, don't worry, because we got something to us that we hit everything when we play Kentucky. So now all the players know that everything's going to go in against Louisville, and it's just driving me absolutely insane when I'm talking about how good this team is and the matchup, and you're saying, and you're using data from 7 years ago with a different team and different people and different programs.
You know how like when it rains, it pours. You know how you consistently have several bad things happen to you in a row? It's because you get in that mind frame and you're negative all the time. So negative stuff is just going to keep happening to you until you can get out of that and break that chain and get back to positive thoughts.
How are you going to break the Kentucky chain? How are you going to break the curse? I get mad at Ethan Moore because I'm like, you have to fight through this. You have a new coach. You have a team. You watch data like Ethan's being so stubborn that he won't even try to think. I understand it hurts. Failure hurts. Rejection hurts. Hopes up and failure hurts. But people, like, what is in you to where you're just gonna quit even trying to manifest success?
You know what? And like,
it's called the law of attraction. Thank you, Texter.
The law of attraction, yeah, and then that's what The Secret is, the law of attraction. But it's one of those things where I'll say this,
or am I going crazy? Is
no? You're right. You're right, because I hate to say this because I know we like to poke fun at the Kentucky fans, but Kentucky fans tend to be fairly confident. They come out fairly confident, and when I don't know if I'm just getting one side of the story when I look at this, but when we go into a Louisville Kentucky game, I feel like Kentucky fans always go in optimistic and Louisville fans go in kind of pessimistic or a little bit neutral. Like, I don't know how we're going to do, like a little bit worried almost. And I feel like that's a common thing. And I feel like it puts us behind the 8 ball before we even start the game a lot.
1,050%. It puts you behind an 8 ball, Brian. Like that's so, okay. So what's a proper punishment leading up to this game to do for me to say, listen, you do that around me, you're done?
If you call in, we just shut the mic. We just hang up.
So that's instant hang up.
Instant hang up if there's negativity going into the Louisville Kentucky game.
I can do negativity, but that,
are we strictly talking about just the Louisville Kentucky basketball game, or are we talking about just in general? Like, are we including like the Satterfield Louisville football comments, or are we including just Louisville Kentucky basketball game?
You tell me, because that's a great question. Like, I don't like that's what made me even bring up the conversation about, like, if a guy doesn't commit for 10 years, then he's a piece of crap that's going to leave. And I'm like, dude, what 10 years?
Maybe we do it. Maybe we let you speak your mind until the week of the game. then the week of the game, if you send any sort of bad vibes, you get hung up on right away. If you want to call in and be a pessimist, but going into the Louisville, Kentucky game this year,
but
Louisville fans should be feeling pretty good about that game.
But here's the problem: it's happening right now.
But you're talking about the people who do it way in advance.
They're doing it now. Every time you compliment Louisville and you say, "Listen, I like the matchup Louisville, Kentucky," and then somebody says, "Oh, Kentucky's going to hit every 3-pointer they shoot." Remember back in 2000.
It'll be the one game that they come alive.
Yeah,
Cal always has them ready to play in Louisville, no matter how bad they are.
Yeah, no, you have them ready to play Louisville, no matter how bad they are.
Yeah.
Cal just sits back and lets your fan base do the work. Like, this is real stuff. Like, this is real. Like, why do you think millionaires and billionaires sit around and say you have to think this stuff into existence?
Yeah,
Broski?
Honestly, you should watch the Secret. It's all about the law of attraction.
Yeah, I'm listening.
Think happy thoughts.
I'm sure I will, but like I do that all the time. But like I said, I understand when you're a little jaded and stuff like that, but get it away from me. Get it off my show. Keep it away from my show. Keep it away from me. I don't like it. I don't want it infecting me. I don't want it infecting my team. I don't want it affecting social media, any of that stuff. Birdhead Ryan, thanks for joining us on Middays with Marcus Baby. What's on your mama, man?
What's up, Marcus? This is me clapping because you are preaching what pisses me off more than anything. It makes me so mad on social media, and you are preaching it. And I am so happy to hear it. Here's what I cannot wait to see. When we smack them in the mouth and run them out of the gym, usually, this is the only year we haven't done it. Game's over, coaches shake hands. But this year we can't. I want Chris Mack just to give the whole wave, the big thumbs up from 30 feet away. Say, thanks a lot, Cal. Next time you want to play, when it's most convenient for you. Can you
imagine? Look, Birdhead. You've just visualized it. You've set an image in people's heads of Coach Mack waving with a nice smirk and walking back to his locker room with our video of our locker room, with our videographer showing them dancing. You remember when Darius Perry was dancing down the aisle of the bus? Everybody was doing a little Soul Train dance line, and Darius Perry coming back from Duke. Leading up to that game, all that negative, we can't beat Duke talk and all that crap, and they wasted them, and they got on that bus and they were having a blast.
They were. But I tell you, Mac doesn't really pull that mask down. But I think right at that point, I think he just pulls the mask down with that big smile, gives a big thumbs up to convenient Cal, and say, "Hey, Cal, if you guys need to schedule a game, we're here. We'll play anywhere you want. Thanks a lot. Thanks for us drumming you in. Appreciate it." Hey, I'm now fired up, man. Thank you for making this putting a positive spin on this, man. I am pumped. Take care, man. Go Cards.
Absolutely. I appreciate the call. And here's the thing. The reason you're going to have to change your behavior with me and this show, the reason why I'm saying it can't just be a game week thing, because Brian Hall, that energy vampire, right? The energy vampire that does that leading up to the game. Guess what he does after the game, Brian?
He's the first one to be like, "Oh, I told you so."
No,
or he's the first one to be excited when.
No. It's 10 times more demonic than that.
Oh, okay.
You know what they do, Brian?
What's that?
Well, that's 1 out of 8 years.
Oh,
that's 2 out of 8 years. Let's see if win 7 more, and then I can have something
They
to be
can't
happy.
even celebrate the win.
I know. And it's like, listen. I almost said something controversial. I'm not going to say anything controversial. But here's the thing. You know how when you want to do extreme things or say extreme things about what you'll do to somebody, if you hear that, think of whatever is going to get me in trouble on air and say, I'll do that to you if I hear you say, "Well, that's 1 out of so and so and so and so," and you claim to be a Louisville fan. I would literally feel. Listen, I answered a question on the live stream last night. It's really fun, by the way. Somebody asked me about the worst game, the toughest game to lose that I wasn't a part of, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I thought about it. It was 2 games. It was a Tennessee-Oklahoma game that Jalen had 26 tackles in one game. in one game.
It's impressive.
Right?
That's pretty impressive.
And they lost on the last second field goal. Okay, that was brutal, right? Okay. The next one after that was Louisville, Minnesota. And it was the very first game of the tournament. And, we all know it was the first game of the tournament. We were out of the tournament in 3 hours. It was brutal. It was in Iowa, and it was Lil Rick, and it was just everything, right? And I had to listen to Andy Sweeney and Locke over there laughing the whole time, and Cooper Hassan. It was the worst. It was just the worst, and dealing with their smirks the whole time, right? Like I had to listen to that, and it was just brutal. So fast forward, B Hall, and that was the first time I ever when somebody sees something disgusting and then they start doing the gagging thing, right? I never believed that. I'm like, you're just acting up. Like, that's not literally making you throw up just because you saw a picture or something. Dude, okay, if you smell something and it kind of gets to your gut and makes you queasy, I could see somebody throwing up, or if you got some bad stuff in your stomach and all that good stuff. Listen, after that game, that Minnesota Louisville tournament game, that was the first time in my life that I felt like I'm gonna throw up. I'm so sick to my stomach. I'm literally I don't even have a lot of food, but I'm going to projectile, regurgitate now, because I'm so sick about what happened. And that comment after you beat Kentucky, that comment, let's see what you can do next year. Let's see, you got to win this minute. That would literally bring me right back to that moment of Louisville, Minnesota loss. And I feel like I'm going to throw up if you say something like that on this air or around me. So I'm doing this for you and my own health. Then I'm going to start blocking and hanging up on it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of a good way to kind of handle that, but I think the best way to do it is just to hang up on and be like, oh, if you're going to be negative or you're going to be pessimistic, here you go.
But see, it's a line between being negative and speaking negativity into full existence. It's I can see, okay.
But we don't need none of that around here right now, okay? All right?
We just don't need
I'm
that.
a fairly optimistic person. I try to stay on the positive side. And I know as a show, I think we're looked at like that too. We're looked at as a fairly positive show, no matter what happens, what's going on in the world. I mean, it's been a rough couple years to be a Louisville fan, and we're trying to keep it positive.
How do you survive on this planet without seeing how good a regular day is, a regular game is, enjoying just a regular win? My God, it's okay. Thank you all for listening.
So if you get hung up on, know why.
That's what
we
it is.
Just told you.
Quick commercial break. I need to catch my breath. Middays with Marcus Maben on 939 The Ville.
Throughout history, rings of all kinds have been given to symbolize adoration.
Hey, Marcus.
And who doesn't?
I got the Mark Ennis thing if you want to listen.
The largest selection of unique rings and wedding bands, crafted to last a lifetime. For a new relationship, a promise ring will be a treasured gift. If you've been together many years, a 3-stone ring might make her tear up. The stones represent the past, present, and future. If you're looking for a wedding band, we offer every style, from simple classics to elaborate decorative bands, as well as bands with sapphires and colorful gemstones. She can either stack it with her wedding set or wear it on her right hand. Every time she looks at her ring, she'll be reminded of your love. Now you have a friend in the jewelry business. Shane Company and ShaneCo.com. Open weekdays 9 till 9, Saturday 10 till 8, and Sunday 11 to 5.
When you are buying or selling a home, you have a ton of questions that need to be answered. Well, what if I could answer those questions with 3 simple words? Call Josh Jarbo. Josh specializes in residential real estate, getting buyers the home of their dreams and sellers top dollar for their home with the best negotiating skills in the industry. And if you tell him you heard about him right here, you'll receive up to a $5,000 seller's credit. So contact Josh Jarbo today at 502-216-7590 or joshjarbo@remax.net.
Louisville football takes on Wake Forest Saturday. and ESPN Louisville is your pre- and post-game headquarters.
Cunningham on the run, and he is in. Touchdown!
Join Pat Jaggers and Taylor Lynch at 10 o'clock for the Coors Light pregame show on all ESPN Louisville stations. And then directly following the game, it's the Coors Light postgame show with Mark Ennis. We're the first place in town that will take your calls and hear live from Scott Satterfield. If it's Cards football, we talk about it here on ESPN Louisville.
After all we've been through this year, Genesis Diamonds wants to help you end 2020 on a truly magical note with an unforgettable holiday gift and our best offer ever. 5 years, 0 interest financing with 0 down. And everything's included. Gold bangles, diamond bracelets, sapphire earrings, antique or rose gold bands, plus an exclusive selection of designer jewelry other jewelers can only dream of offering. Imagine getting the solitaire engagement ring of her dreams for just $100 a month. A dainty emerald and diamond tennis bracelet or incredible eternity band for only $50 a month. Even a pair of delicate diamond studs for just $30 a month and with no money down. Whether your budget is $300 or $300,000, Genesis Diamonds has the perfect gifts. Antique wedding bands, one-of-a-kind designer rings, trendy gold bangles, diamond pendants, and delicate layering necklaces, diamond hoops, even Swiss timepieces. All available right now for the holidays with nothing down and 0 interest financing for 5 whole years. Genesis Diamonds, Shelbyville Road Plaza. Open this Sunday on approved credit.
Have you been in a car wreck? Insurance companies can be really tough to deal with on your own. I'm Sam Aguiar, and our team is here to help. We have been fortunate enough to represent thousands of people from Kentucky communities, and we would love to speak with you about your potential case. Our team loves what we do. The consultation for you is free, and we don't charge you anything unless we win the case for you. So come be a part of our team. Our phone number is easy, 502-888-8888. 502-888-8888.
Oh, ship! I need to get this package downtown by noon.
Don't worry. There's a brand new on-demand delivery service by Z-Trip. It's Z Shipping.
Are you shipping me?
No, we're shipping your packages.
For the quickest, affordable, on-demand courier service, visit zshipping.com. zshipping.com. Let Z-Ship help you with your delivery needs. That's zshipping.com. Bellarmine basketball is on the air Sunday.
Gives to Penn, coming from right to left. Dillon down the lane, scores, and a foul. What a move. He's a whirling dervish here at Freedom Hall.
Join Doug Orme and Mark Bug as the Knights hit the road to take on Morgan State. Knights pregame coverage begins at 12:45. Right here on 93.9 The Ville and the ESPN Louisville app. If it's Bellarmine basketball, it plays on ESPN Louisville.
Was the holiday
This is Drew Diener,
season,
and you're listening to 93.9 The Ville, live from the OPC Services Studio.
.9 is the number. 93.9 is the station. Sorry, people. I'm just getting a chance to go back on some of the messages that were on YouTube. You know that meme or that response, I feel attacked. One of our guys, Chris Curry, he was apologetic. He said, I'm really turning into that fan. He said, sorry, y'all. I wasn't always like this. But here's the thing. This is why I decided to put a stop to that today, because it's contagious. It is legitimately contagious. So yeah, I did get that off my chest. Yvette says the key is not to feed into it. I agree, but sometimes, like, you can't even let it, like, even though your skin has a lot of little, it's permeable to a certain degree. So even when you have thick skin, at the end of the day, your skin is still permeable. So if you're soaking in that, it has no choice but to get inside. Goodness gracious, what are we talking about? I got to talk about something. Now, I heard this didn't get played this morning, and I'm glad about that because you all are going to get to hear this for the first time. I saw that Mark Ennis was going to be on Packer and Durham. We are all known to be big fans of Packer and Durham. This is a big time get. This is a big time.
Anytime you can get on a national show, it's kind of a big deal,
Yes, and Mark does the football pre's and post, and he does his job. So this is kind of a tip of the cap to.
Don't forget, Pat does the pre. All right.
Oh, sorry about that.
Give Pat credit. All right.
Pat and Taylor. Sorry about that. You were right about that. You're 100% right, and I'm glad you were there to check me on that instead of sitting around somewhere else.
But Mark does a good job on the post game show.
Can
all right?
you believe Mark just said it? Mark
He does good on the post game show,
right? Because listen, here's the thing: if I was riding in my car and I heard Pat Jagger say, "Yeah, Steve Rummage does the pre and post game," I'm Pat. We got to talk. No, you did that on purpose. You didn't accidentally do that. You purposely took me off the pregame show, and I'm not okay. Yeah, I would have took it like extreme personal. So you're right. Pat Jaggers, Taylor Lynch pre-games, Mark Ennis post-game shows, well-informed people, and the studio's blowing up. Like, what do you want me to say? ESPN Louisville as a conglomerate is blowing up. We raised $50,000 in one day of just getting on the radio saying, "Hey,
that was awesome.
Cram the van, help us out, make it happen." Charitable donations. I did get word my guest co-host is okay. There was a little bit of confusion, couldn't make it happen. We will reschedule him. Another co-host. So people know. I don't know if
he was nervous we were going to hit too many threes on him.
No. Listen. Our my guest co-host profession doesn't allow for nerves. So trust me, people. He would have been just fine.
He was on his way coming in, and he was just going to be like, Kentucky's just going to knock down a bunch of threes against them, and it's just the way it happens every year. And he's like, you know what, I can't. I got to turn around and rewrite this.
That's the one thing he was not going to say. He was not going to be that guy. Mr. Pratt just walking by. That's why ESPN Louisville's grown up. Mike Pratt's just walking by. Mark Ennis is on Packer and Durham. ESPN Louisville, $50,000 in a day. Just a day of shows. The co-host slot was a donated co-host slot by me to the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation, and he was our winning bid. So that is why he was going to be the guest co-host. If you all didn't know, so don't worry, Steve's not getting replaced. So listen, let's give our man a little bit of props and play a little bit of that Mark Ennis sound.
Couple gentlemen making their debut on the show. We look forward to that. Well, that includes our next guest, Mark Ennis from 93.9 The Ville. You mentioned you've been on the show many, many times. Total role reversal as we move forward here.
Well, and here's the other thing, too. Mark Ennis can provide us great intel on Luke Hancock to use against him during basketball. So I think there's a win-win for us here, Pack, across the board, don't you?
We'll find out. Mark, good morning.
Well, look, Luke needs constant humbling. So if you guys need material, I am here for you.
Speaking of material, what's new in Louisville?
Oh boy.
You've never seen a fan base with flashbacks like this. I tell anybody who will listen, since 1969, one coach has stayed longer than 5 years for Louisville football. And we had another example of this this year with Scott Satterfield interviewing with South Carolina out of the blue. And there was a very, very strong here we go again reaction from fans around here.
Okay, Mark, did he do enough, though, in the last 96 hours to kind of rebuild the bridge a little bit here? Because I know it was bombed out last Saturday night. I mean, I could follow enough of the newspaper stories and the Twitter screens to say, okay, somebody blew up the bridge. Has he been able to build it fast enough in 96 hours? And the letter to season ticket holders last night, things like that, to put him in a spot to hopefully earn their trust again.
Yeah, I think the letter to season ticket holders was really, really good and exactly what he needed to do. It was a lot more apologetic, not defensive really at all. and really talked a lot more about what he liked about Louisville and why he wanted to be here, which is what I think a lot of people wanted to hear. You have 4 or 5 days straight about missing his family or, sort of having a longing for the Carolinas and that sort of thing. I think fans just wanted to hear that he does actually want to be here. And look, this is going to be a long-term process. I don't think he can just undo it, in a few days. Playing well to end the season against Wake Forest would be a good start. Signing this recruiting class would be a good start, but it's just going to take time and wins.
Mark, you read my mind. Letters are fine. Sound bites are great. Press conferences, that's all fine and good. But at the end of the day, you got to win games. And that's why I think this game tomorrow has a little bit more juice. I mean, these are two teams basically are not going to be part of the ACC championship game. But, we haven't seen Wake play in it seems like 8 weeks. And now you got Louisville with all this stuff going on. The best way to win people over is to look good doing it, right? Win some ball games. And this has been a strange year. I think we've all whiffed on what our expectations were for Louisville and how this season has unfolded. So the best way to win people over is to look the part, win some games, and people go, okay, we got this thing back on track. Now let's move forward.
Yeah, and I think there was some fear that maybe having interviewed and looking or sounding like he wasn't necessarily committal here, he might lose the locker room too. And Saturday will be a chance to show that maybe that's not the case. Mm-hmm. In addition, you've had Javian Hawkins and Tutu Atwell that are out now. And it's going to be very much this is what the future is going to look like in terms of who's on the field and who's playing. And if they look good, and if they finish, this is sort of like winning a bowl game. Maybe if you finish this one with a win, then maybe you build a little optimism and a little bit more sort of connection heading into next season now, because this is what the team is going to look like next year, whoever's playing on Saturday.
Well, Mark, the other thing, too, is Malik Cunningham has delivered. He's gotten better. He's a better quarterback in just about every way, shape, or form this year. He's taken the reins of the job. What's the next then item on that punch list if you're Louisville football here in the offseason? No matter what happens Saturday, where have they got to kind of focus first in your mind?
They got to stop turning the ball over, and I think it's kind of a mystery. I've almost felt bad for Scott. Agonizing over how do we just stop fumbling the football. It's been everybody. It hasn't been just Cunningham. It hasn't been just the running backs. They've outgained their opponents in 6 out of their last 9 games. I think 8 out of the last 10 losses. But they turn the ball over like crazy. And so I think mentally just being a lot sharper and a lot more focused on not turning the ball over. If they had a neutral turnover margin, they've got a winning record this year.
What was your take on Tutu Atwell's opt-out?
I think, he's hurt, and I think there's been a lot of, here's one chance at a message, and we'll quickly kind of follow it up and make sure that it's sharp. Exactly. This is what we mean. Scott did that, and then Tutu did it too. Here's the statement. Hey, look, I'm hurt, and I'm going to go ahead and get on with my attempts at a pro career, but I'm not opting out. I'm hurt. So he issued the statement and then immediately did kind of an interview after practice. I was like, no, I can't play. But I am going to go ahead and just let everybody know I'm declaring I'm going to hire an agent. I'm going to go ahead and get that process started. So his wasn't the same opt-out as Javian Hawkins. And I think that one kind of stung folks. And I think Tutu kind of went out of his way to make sure nobody thought he was doing that too.
Yeah, he did sign with Drew Rosenhaus Sports, by the way, last night, or at least a picture on social media emerged with Atwell and Rosenhaus Sports last night to indicate that his college career is over. Mark, I want to pivot here a little bit to basketball. Chris Mack's got one of the teams that has kind of been pausing on activities here. We got a small sample size. As Pac said, we hit the term small sample size probably a half dozen times yesterday, because Louisville is one of those teams we've seen enough to know, you're still getting some new faces in there. But, man, Carlik Jones can play. He can play at Bradford, and he can play at this level, it looks like.
Yeah, Louisville's backcourt they're going to go as far as the backcourt takes them. And I think Carlik Jones, they didn't really temper our expectations for him. And now I think we've been able to see why. And you talk about a small sample size. This isn't even really the whole team. They played so well against Western Kentucky, and Samuel Williamson didn't even play. Charles Minlin hasn't played yet. And yet they still handled, a really good Western team. I think it's going to be a tournament team. There's a ton of optimism for what this team will look like. And we really, again, have not even seen them at what we expect to be kind of full strength, not to mention Malik Williams, who probably won't play until the very end of the season, if at all.
Marcus, so where would you, because you've got a real handle on Louisville. So where would you put them in the pecking order based on 2 weeks of ACC where you've watched Duke and North Carolina and Syracuse get waxed by double digits the other night. You've seen some upstarts. NC State's kind of a mystery team. Clemson's off to a good start. Virginia Tech's giving you Villanova. They've also given you Penn State. So where do you think Louisville is in the mix as we sit here in early December?
Well, I don't think I can even tell you about Louisville again, because we haven't even seen, pieces that we thought were going to be vital pieces. And again, I don't know that we'll see Malik Williams at all. I'm going to start thinking about them really without him. But some of the young pieces that are playing down low have been really good for Louisville. So I think they can be a top 4 team in the ACC. But I haven't even seen them play on the road. Like, they've only played at the Yum Center. That's it. So I don't even know what they're going to look like on someone else's court necessarily. That's why I was glad to see that the pause is over and that they're back to practicing. And hopefully we'll get to see them play NC State or Pitt and Kentucky. And that'll be a good measuring stick. And I think people want to see that game. But I think they can be a top 4 team in the league. They're deeper. And that backcourt is just even better than expectations were.
My line of the interview is, I think people want to see the Louisville Kentucky game. You think people want to see the Louisville Kentucky game this year? Come on.
I hope
line of the day.
I hope it's as good as Chris Mack's video, because we asked him if that was one take and he broke it down for us. And if the game's as good as the video, we're in business, man. That's going to be out of sight.
Look, I'm not sure Kentucky wants to play that game at this point. I don't know.
No, that's an interesting angle
I know
too.
They don't want to see Georgia Tech again. They don't want to see Georgia Tech, right?
How about Notre Dame this weekend?
Well, and in all honesty, Mark, the Cats have some questions, don't they?
Yeah,
I mean,
a lot of
and let's be honest, they're playing a bunch of ACC schools here early too.
Yeah. By the way,
this is one of the first times Kentucky's not going to have just like a dramatic advantage at point guard. Cal's done such a good job at point guard in the time he's been there, and they don't have that. Carly Jones and David Johnson. Louisville's got a better backcourt right now, and I can't remember the last time I could really tell you that against Kentucky.
Mark, Jeff Hall's club, number 2 in the country, from a women's basketball perspective, you knew they were going to be good. They could be even better than advertised, couldn't they?
Well, they set a record for points against DePaul, and they only made 6 threes. It wasn't like they had like 20 or whatever, like some teams do. We had Jeff Walls on the show last week, and we're like, hey, Jeff, how about that backcourt? You got Dana Evans, and you got Haley Van Lith. He's like, guys, you haven't even seen Kiana Smith yet. So, like, he just immediately folds in a couple more players in there. And for the first time, they've really got tremendous low post scoring too. I think they can win all kinds of games. They can get up and down. They can win some rough and tumble games. They can make threes. They can score down low. Jeff's got as good a chance as he's ever had at Louisville to cut the nets down.
Yeah, see, there we go. I knew Ennis would deliver for us, Packer.
Excellent.
I knew this would be as strong a debut as we've had in a long time.
Excellent insight. Everything we wanted to know.
You guys make sure you say that to Luke. Make sure you tell Luke that.
He doesn't listen to us. But I tell you what I do like about Hancock. Let me tell you what I like about Hancock. He's not verified on Twitter either, and I respect that.
Oh, my God. Here we go.
I respect that from Hancock.
Oh, my God. Oh, man. Hey, Mark, take care. Thank you, bud. Always fun.
Guys.
Appreciate your time doing this. All right.
Anytime.
Mark Ennis from 93.9 The Ville in Louisville. Outstanding guy, good talent. Great show if you're ever in that area. Worth a listen.
Good shout out. Great job. Good. I found myself locked into the interview. I wasn't fumbling around.
Hey, it's a big praise when they sit there and say, you're one of the best debuts that we've had on this show.
Yeah, no, that's an absolute fact. So shout out to Mark Ennis. Do you have a beer note?
I like the Luke jabs there too.
I got to throw those in there because it is Friday. I do want to give my obligatory shout out to Bearno's Texter. I can't give away that other spot just yet.
Well, I know if you want to give me like 1 minute, I can print it because I know Andy wants you guys doing a lot of the reads. Or if it feels good with it, I can just do it real quick.
You know what? Let me go ahead and do it. I want to give the full shout out. I don't want to.
Okay, it's on your email. Phil sent it about 30 minutes ago.
Yeah, listen. You know I know Phil sent that. Phil's always on point with it. Let's get it. Give me a couple of seconds, people. Thanks to George and the Beer Nose team for dropping off lunch to ESPN Louisville Studios. Thinking lunch or dinner? Beer Nose has you covered tonight and this weekend. All Beer Nose now delivering alcohol, carry out, and deliver to your home. Support local. Also, gift card sale for the holidays from now until December 23rd. Get $25 for $20. Yeah, it's that good. Beer Nose Pizza. Woo! Brian, did we deliver this week or did we deliver this week?
I think we delivered.
Texters, callers, did you have a good time this week? YouTube channel, did y'all have a good time this week? I feel like I am just now coming down from the excitement of the week. Coach Satterfield delivered on his apology letter.